a Raiders fan who was being interviewed by a local sportscaster and his thoughts about his favorite team, and I thought it was spot on.
This is from KTNV Television, and this thing took a turn. Take a listen.
If you're so into the NFL, you know your Raiders, I can tell right here. How are you feeling with the team this year?
We're not going to the Super Bowl. I already know it.
We got a realistic Raiders fan here. This is odd. This is the first interview I've ever had like this. The Super Bowl chances are not good, but what is it going to take for the Raiders to have a successful season, you think?
Not to get arrested.
Okay, that's definitely an interesting one. I would agree with that. Yeah, getting someone in prison, that's going to hurt the chances.
That's beautiful.
And that's such a television reporter's answer.
I went to school with that guy.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
The reporter?
Yeah, the reporter.
He wasn't a radio guy, was he?
He was. Oh, I think he actually left after like a year. He didn't make it very long.
Not an ad-libber there. Like usually,
no.
like.
But he walked in like. I mean, he walked in reading teleprompters. Like He was super buttoned up, old school Newsy Guy.
That's right, Johnny. When somebody gets sent to jail, it really diminishes your chances to win the Super Bowl.
I think some of the best videos out there, whether they're sports-related videos or they're just, other news videos, or kids telling the truth.
That was outstanding.
Kids just don't hold back. They tell you the truth. I think it's fantastic.
Not getting arrested. They've had their share, haven't they?
Yeah.
Too?
Oh, yeah. There was a study that came out. You know that I'm big on studies, even though they're very expensive and they're useless. How many lazy days a year do you think the average American needs?
How many lazy days a year? Like
days
just where
per year to feel rested and relaxed, according to a recent survey.
100. I'm going off of what I need.
So you say 100.
No, I mean, what would the study say? I would say the study would say 20, or somewhere between like 18 and 20.
Okay, and how did you come to that number? Just are you throwing darts, or
I'm going like one every couple of 2-3 weeks.
The average American needs 60 lazy days
a year
to feel rested and relaxed. The poll of 2,000 Americans investigated how the average person leverages days literally doing nothing for self-care, as well as the anatomy of a perfect do-nothing day.
Well, I don't get enough. I don't definitely.
Well, you can't really do that because you have young kids.
We have kids, yeah.
And you can't get away from your phone.
That's why we go on vacation by ourselves.
To get away from the
kids.
We
had a talk yesterday, too. We went out to dinner with the family. Braxton had baseball practice, so it was just Mason, me, and Allie. And we went over the vacation schedule with Mason on the trips that we're taking alone. He was not too happy.
What did he say?
Well, I told him, I go, look, you get to go to this trip and this trip and this trip, but look, the Bears bye week's in mid-October. Mommy and Daddy are going to Vegas. And then and then the Bears are playing Thanksgiving. And then, so that's like an extended bye. So after that game, we're going to Mexico without you guys.
Can you, let me just ask, can you believe how things have changed? Because had you belly ached about that when you were a kid, when your dad was talking to you, your dad probably would look at you and said, shut up and eat your hamburger.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And Mason was eating steak on top of that. So I would not have been eting steak. You're right.
When's the first time you had a steak?
Oh, well, our family would grill steaks. They were very good about grilling lamb chops and stuff, but I would not have steak at a restaurant, not till I was in my teens, I don't believe. High teens, too.
Meller, when's the first time you had a steak?
So my dad always jokes that he would take my mom and I out for a cheap dinner, go get some pizza, and I would order steak when I was like 3 years old.
Wow, look,
solid move.
So did you continue to do this as a child?
I always enjoyed steak. So I don't know what kind of cut I was getting, to be honest with you, especially if you're going to a pizza place, if I'm ordering steak off the side menu.
My guess is you weren't getting filet at a pizza joint. I could be wrong, I could be wrong for sure. But
my kid's just like Sylvie's Mason. Alex is eating steak, I think 3 times a week.
And he's like Mason's super skinny, unlike Braxton. So if he wants a steak and he's going to eat a full
You're like,
steak,
sure.
I'm like, go ahead. Like I'm happy to put the meat on the bones.
I like it. Gets a little expensive, but I definitely like it. Postcard finally arrives 121 years after it was sent. When I saw the headline of this article, I couldn't believe it.
Where was it?
An undelivered postcard has finally reached its intended destination about 121 years after it was first popped off in the post office. It was a Christmas-themed card delivered to the Swansea Building Society's Craddock Street branch last week, even though it was originally sent in 1903.
It's incredible, and it goes to show you like how different of a time we're in, which we all know with emails and instantaneous texts and FaceTimes. Do you remember the days? I mean, we grew up in the letter writing days where you would wait. When you probably went to Boston College, you would get letters in the mail, whether it be from a girlfriend or for parents.
Had no phone.
Yeah, and
There
like
was one phone that was in the hallway. We lived in a 3-floor dorm room as freshmen, and there was only one phone. It was in the 2nd floor. So like the whole dorm had to use it.
How great would it be when you would get like an envelope with a bulky letter in there where you got a letter? Yeah, that would be fun back in the day.
Oh, if it was from a young lady that you may have been dating?
Exactly.
Yeah. Really? My buddy, Jim Beestick, my best friend from college, he probably would be pissed if I told this story, but I'll tell it anyway. And I've probably told you this. When he left Meriden, Connecticut as a high school senior, when he went to college, he had a girlfriend. He never said goodbye to her. He just left and never contacted her.
Wait a minute. So he never broke up with her.
Didn't break up with her.
He was dating her one day.
Just left.
And then he went to college.
Yes.
Never said, I'm leaving.
Nope.
And just she
knew he was leaving.
She woke up and he was gone?
No. She knew he was leaving. He was going to school. I just don't believe there was ever a communication that, hey, you know what? This relationship is over. Maybe we should, put a halt to it now as we go, our separate ways. He just kind of left and never called her. And then she would call every week, 2 or 3 times a week in the phone on the 2nd floor. And they would always, it was guys on the 1st floor. And I think there were girls on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And you'd always hear the girls answer the phone and scream down below, Jim, same girl's trying to get a hold of you. He just left. That's how he broke up with her.
Unbelievable. Your friend.
That's quite a move, isn't it?
Oh,
quite
my goodness.
He's put together now. He wouldn't do that now.
He's put together now.
No, he is. He's the most mature guy I know now. But that was a classic move. By the way, did you see Dan Graziano in ESPN.com ranked all of the divisions for the season? Do you know quickly how he ranks the divisions in terms of the most competitive or the best divisions down to the worst divisions?
I would guess that both North divisions would be at the top. The AFC North probably 1 and the NFC North 2.
The AFC North is number 1. Number 2 is the NFC West.
Oh, wow.
Number 3 is the NFC North, followed by the AFC South.
I think the NFC North is better than the West. I mean, because with the Rams and Seattle, they have the headliner in the Niners, but
yes,
Arizona and Seattle and LA, I think the NFC North is better.
Yes. Do you also have an article here from Ben Solak from today? He ranks the coaches, ranking all 32 NFL teams' coaching staffs and coordinators in 2024. Would you like to take a guess as to where the Chicago Bears find themselves?
So this is the entire staff. This is not just
head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator.
I do believe that Shane Waldron is looked at as a pretty good OC. I'm going to say that the Bears are 18th.
18th. Tyler, you've seen the article. Mellor, do you have a guess?
I'll go 15th.
He has them ranked 25th.
Wow.
Head coach Matt Eberflus, offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, defensive coordinator Eric Washington. He writes, I'd love to be more excited about the Bears coaching staff than I am. The jump the defense took last year was notable as Eberflus was calling plays for the first time, but the improvement had much more to do with personnel additions than a philosophy shift. The Bears were as his defense. They've always been a 4-down team playing either cover 2 or cover 3 behind him. There isn't much in the way of coverage, rotation, or disguise. There isn't much in the way of blitz packages. He goes on to talk about Shane Waldron, who's done some nice things. But I was a little bit surprised. And the reason why I mentioned this is, I think we've all shared a little bit of skepticism about whether or not Matt Eberflus was the long-term solution as their coach. I said this to you guys Tuesday night after the most recent episode of Hard Knocks. The more I kind of watch him behind the scenes, and look, I know a lot of it is kind of for the camera, the thing with Nick Saban and some of it. I'm starting to buy in a little bit more to the way he does things. Now, we've always been told that he has a great, rapport with his players and his players love him. But the more I watch him and see some of the behind the scenes stuff, the more kind of what he's doing is making a little more sense to me. I'm not suggesting to you that I've got him as a top 5 coach in the league, but I feel a little bit more comfortable, a little better about him after seeing some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, obviously the first month of the season will tell us more.
Amen.
We could have all the warm and fuzzies now.
Yep.
But I'm surprised it's still that low. But look, it's something for them to prove. And look, Eric Washington's never called plays. He didn't call plays, I don't believe, with Ron Rivera. He didn't call plays in Buffalo. And he's not. And Eberflus has been adamant. He will not call plays in the regular season.
No, I think he told Carmen and Yurko he is going to, didn't he?
So Sylvie meant
No,
he meant Eric Washington.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah,
Eric
yeah.
Washington is not called defensive.
Right.
But so when you're ranking the coach, it's already Eberflus is low and Eric Washington is the DC, is not a play caller. I don't think it raises the tide very high, is what I'm saying.
Are you more comfortable with Matt Eberflus right now than you were 5-6 months ago?
There was only one way to go, Waddle.
Yeah.
How I felt. I didn't have a lot
you could have. Well, there was one way. I mean, you could have stayed, the same. You didn't have to.
No, but I do like the way he's been hands-on with Caleb Williams. I do like the way he has changed with the preseason. I do like that they audibled from only playing 3 series with Caleb in this last one. I do like that they played the starters in the last game. I do like the pacing. Again, it will speak more to me if they need to start fast in the regular season. They need to win that game against Tennessee, a beatable team in your home ballpark. But
before we take a break, just a little advice, guys. Start saving your money. Sticker price at some colleges is now nearly $100,000 a year.
Is the bubble ever going to burst?
No, I don't.
It's just going to go up and up and up and up.
At this point, I don't see an end to it, so just keep saving, guys.
What's it going to be then? So I have a 10-year-old. What's it going to be when he's 18?
$1 billion a year. It was $32,000 a year, I think. My dad sent me a couple of months ago, I think, the tuition thing from Boston College for the year. It was $32,000 for the entire year.
I think for me, it was like $6,000 at Southern.
Yeah.
I think it was great.
Yeah. It's going to be. That's not going to be good for you guys. So.